a former palace spokesperson commented on the AFP chief's rejection of the joint military exercises with China. Jayne Codnita reports.
Former presidential spokesperson Attorney Harry Roque has advised AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. regarding his recent statement. The bilateral naval drills between the Philippines and China are unlikely to be held. On SMNI's program Pulso ng Bayan, Attorney Roque stated that Browner is not the official spokesperson and that he should let President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the Department of National Defense to handle comments on this matter.
Parang nalilito siya na hindi na siya spokesperson ng hukbong sandatahan. No? Siya ay chief of staff na ng hukbong sandatahan. No? At yung mga salitang binanggit niya, ito yung mga salita na dapat banggitin lamang ng Chief Architect of Foreign Policy, ang Presidente, o di naman kaya ng Department of Foreign Affairs. Pagdating naman sa mga kasunduan na ipinasok ng Pilipinas, pagdating sa defense cooperation, sana hinayaan na niya ang magsalita dyan ay ang kalihim ng Department of National Defense. Ang Chief of Staff, ikaw nga ang #1 sa Armed Forces of the Philippines, pero ikaw ay susunod sa chain of command at ang chain of command ay ang Presidente parang.
Browner earlier said that the military exercises between Manila and Beijing may not push through due to the tensions and incidents that have happened in the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea. He also stated that China needs to cease what he described as coercive and dangerous tactics in the disputed waters. Attorney Roque, on the other hand, emphasized that such statements should originate from the president. The former palace spokesperson also clarified that his comment serves as a reminder of what is stated in the Constitution.
Hindi po ako sumasang-ayon, hindi ako disagree. Ang sinasabi ko lang po, hindi po yan papel ng Chief of Staff ng Armed Forces of the Philippines. Yan po ay pulisiya na dapat ang Presidente ang humugis, mag-anunsyo o di naman kaya. Yan po isang bagay pagdating sa relasyon natin sa Pilipinas at China na dapat ang Department of Foreign Affairs ang nagsasalita at pagdating naman sa kasunduang mga seguridad, meron naman po tayong sibilyan na kalihim ng Department of National Defense. Yan po siguro ang dahilan kung bakit sinasabi natin na civilian rule shall be supreme over the military dahil kung hahayaan natin sa militar ang silang gumawa ng desisyon, baka gera tayo ng gera. Okay? Ako rin na magpapaalala naman po kung anong nakasaad sa ating saligang batas.
It can be recalled that last month, China expressed interest in conducting joint military drills with the Philippines. For God and my beloved country, the Philippines, this has been Jayne Codnita, SMNI News.
President Bongbong Marcos has directed the Bureau of Customs to continue raiding warehouses to suppress rice smugglers and hoarders. This order comes after a meeting at Malacanang focused on the supply and price of rice in the country. Jayne Codnita has the details.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has ordered the Bureau of Customs to continue raiding warehouses to crack down on hoarders and illegal rice importers. During a press briefing at Malacanang on Tuesday, Customs Commissioner Bienvenido Rubio stated that the BOC is intensifying efforts to tackle illegal agricultural imports by validating all warehouses, especially those storing imported rice.
Well, as per the directive of the President, ang gagawin ko po natin is we will validate all warehouses that are storing imported rice, and then upon validation, we will then issue, I will then issue letters of authority to conduct inspection on these warehouses.
Rubio also provided updates on agency's efforts, mentioning the recent surprise inspection of rice warehouses in Bulacan.
In a recent service of a letter of authority, we served 3 letters of authority against 3 warehouses reportedly utilized in storing imported rice located at the Intercity Industrial Complex, San Juan, Balagtas, Bulacan.
The 3 warehouses subjected to inspection were Great Harvest Rice Mill Warehouse at Intercity Industrial Complex, San Pedro Warehouse Intercity Industrial Complex, and FS Rice Mill Warehouse. The BOC chief revealed that around 505 pesos worth of rice suspected of being illegally imported from Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand were found in these warehouses. Owners and operators of these warehouses have been prohibited from taking out goods unless they can show necessary documents for the rice imports. They have until September 8th of this year to prove payment of necessary duties for the goods.
The subject warehouses were sealed temporarily to secure the imported sacks of rice found therein pending the completion of the inventory by the assigned examiners, which will continue on today, August 29.
Meanwhile, Rubio assured that culprits will be charged if owners and operators of the mentioned warehouses are found guilty. Rubio also mentioned the ongoing collaboration of BOC with the Department of Justice in filing charges against caught smugglers.
Doon po sa mga nakasuhan, and tuloy-tuloy naman po kaming nagpa-file ng kaso, and now we are now in close collaboration and coordination with DOJ para po mapabilis yung pagsampa ng kaso at pag-file ng charges against the smugglers po na nahuli natin, na-identify natin.
For God and for my beloved Philippines, this has been Cresceline Catarong, SMNA.
The Philippine Department of Education calls on parents of students in EMBO schools not to compare school supplies received from the cities of Makati and Taguig and to pay more attention to their children. Jason Rubrico files this report.
There is excitement and nervousness among students and parents on the first day of classes in EMBO schools that used to be under Makati City, but now they are under the jurisdiction of Taguig. However, some of the parents were confused about what uniforms their children would wear as well as their home address.
Medyo magulo sir kasi nahihirapan kaming explain sa bata kung ano yung magiging address nila, kung mama saan ang school ko, ano to, bakit sabi nila, bakit Taguig, bakit Makati, tapos walang since transferee, walang issued uniform, anong isusuot.
Actually very confusing sa mga student kasi hindi nila alam kung yung uniform ba na susuotin nila, ano bang susuotin na, Taguig ba or Makati, pero
Meanwhile, teachers said they were unaffected by the tensions between the two cities. They said they are focused on the mandate of the Department of Education in providing quality education.
Kami mga teachers, ready kami just to serve the students. It doesn't matter po. Kasi we look into the goals of Department of Education po. We submit ourselves to the commitment of the Department of Education to provide quality basic education.
And we are here to help naman both the city government of Makati and the city government of Taguig na hindi magkakaroon ng anumang problema.
Due to the tension between the cities of Makati and Taguig, DepEd has decided that the Office of the Secretary will first oversee the 14 schools covered by the Supreme Court decision. On Tuesday, DepEd inspected EMBO schools to ensure the smooth start of classes. According to Education Assistant Secretary Francis Bringas, they have not seen any untoward incidents in the said schools. Meanwhile, Bringas asked parents not to compare the school supplies received from Taguig and Makati. He said it is better just to guide the children in their studies.
Let us spare our children from all these controversies and just guide them on focusing on their studies. So kung ano man yung mga materials and other learning equipment na darating sa kanila, it's best to accept them and be thankful.
So far, the transition process is underway for 14 schools. Part of the transition process is inventorying properties in the schools, which Bringas said is one of the challenges they are facing.
Most of the challenges will probably be on properties, kung kaninong property ang itong material na to, itong facility na ito. So that's why the inventory will really help in really establishing who owns the property, the school, the equipment inside the school, the buildings, and so on.
DepEd hopes that a final transition plan will be formulated by next month. Meanwhile, based on DepEd data, only 22.9 million students have been enrolled. This is far from the expected enrollment outcome of more than 28 million students. But according to DepEd, it is too early to say if there was a drop in the number of students who enrolled this school year.
It's early to say, it's too early to say that we have decreased enrollment for this school year because as per history and as per trend in the past years, our final number for enrollment only comes in after 2 weeks because that is the time that the schools have completed their uploading of their enrollment data into our learner information system, which is managed at the central office.
Calabarzon registered the most students with more than 3.4 million, followed by Central Luzon and Metro Manila. DepEd is currently accepting late enrollees. For God and my beloved Philippines, I am Jason Rubrico, SM9 News.